She had a vibe. 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 She had a vibe.
No bound, 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 no boundary, no boundary, no boundary, no boundary, no boundaries, no.
She had a vibe. 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 She had a vibe.
Well, what it do, good peoples? Welcome, welcome, welcome. Officially
Come on,
confessions of the
man. Peace, peace, peace.
Huh? Talk to me.
What's going
What?
on?
Yes, yes, sir.
What up, Z? What up, Juan?
How you
What's
doing?
going on?
Man, I'm wonderful.
That's
You want me to
good. That's
confess
good.
something? I got confessions.
Oh man, we got some stuff to confess tonight, man. We got a lot to talk about tonight. Well, first and
No
foremost,
doubt.
ladies and gents, thank y'all very much for joining us tonight. We truly appreciate it. Thank you for tapping in. This is the No Boundary Crew. Just my opinion. We got a lot to talk about tonight, man. And I know that one of the things that we try to do is make sure we stay current with some of the hot topics that jump off and stuff like that. So we do know, and this is going to kind of tie into some of our discussion tonight, right?
Okay.
So you guys did hear about the shooting that happened in Nashville, correct?
Yes.
I didn't.
Okay.
Yeah. Lady came in there ready. It was a lady,
Um,
wasn't it?
Yeah, well, that's one of the things that we're going to tap into because, oh man, I messed up. I took it out before I even. Well, I will read the story to you. Heavily armed former student shot through a locked school door before killing three children at a private Christian campus in Nashville, which happened on
Crazy.
Monday. In addition, this three 9-year-old students, 28-old attacker fatally wounded, and actually, I'm not for sure if they actually got him in custody or they killed the person. But her name was
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Aubrey Hale. So I'm
Mm-hmm.
not for sure if they killed
Audrey or
her
something. Yeah.
or she went into custody.
Yeah, I'm not sure either. Yeah, I'm not sure either. I kind of stopped watching the video. I didn't want to watch the rest of the video, man.
So I do have I did have a video, and
Oh, okay.
as we
Yeah,
talk about this, um, let me download this video again. I messed up because
yeah.
I actually had the video.
Was there a manifesto? Is was any did they leave any reason behind why they did this?
Not that I've read there, Juan. Not that I
Yeah,
have
not that
read,
I
but
saw either.
here's the thing though. Aubrey Hale is a trans woman.
Mm, look at my. Oh, I'm not laughing at the fact that the person is a trans, but on face, like, oh man, oh man.
So
It was wild to see. It was crazy for me to see the video of Audrey or Aubrey pulling up, driving up, and really shooting the doors out of the school.
Wow.
Like glass doors, had to shoot out, crawl under the door. Like that's how they got in. It was crazy, man. And then I just stopped. I was just like, yeah, I can't do it, man.
So needless to say, um, this person was very disturbed.
Very much so. Very much
I
so.
mean, you're 28, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's what 19 years older than these kids. Like, what did they do to you,
Right.
dog?
Right. Right. Come on, man.
Like, what did they
Yeah,
do to
dude.
you? I mean,
Right. Right.
and you
I
know,
never look. I look at that too, homie. I look at that like when these people come to the school and it's like the person that did that to you, like, and I'm not condoning it or anything, but I'm saying like, why aren't you getting them? Why are you getting innocent people who had no, have no issues with you or don't even not even involved in your situation? Like, what would make you do that, man?
that's just crazy. It's crazy, bro. And for me, when it come down to the kids, bro, that's
Right, right, right,
I
right,
just don't I have
right,
no tolerance, no understanding as to why somebody would do
right.
this to little kid. I mean, they
Yeah,
have they I mean, did this person previously go to the school? Like, did they work there? Did
yeah.
why?
I think they went to the school before. I
they
think they
did
went
go
to the
to the
school
school.
before, but you're 28, bro. Like, like if it's a high school, that means you were done at 18. At the latest 19. You're 28. What you on right now?
Yeah, that don't make no sense whatsoever.
Right.
So the person did go to the school, Juan. And I here's the sad piece, right? The sad piece to it all is, and hold on, give me 1 second, you guys. I'm almost done getting this video for you guys.
Yeah. No problem. And with that, I think it's one of those like another situation of a school shooting, and it's like, how are these people? It's easy how they getting the guns. It's not. It's not a question about how they getting it. They're probably getting these guns legally. Um, but the fact that when things like this happen, nothing is done, and it keeps happening over and over again. I think there was a school shooting in Colorado last week or a week ago. Like this stuff is happening on a regular, and I think at the school something happened. This school in Colorado, something similar had happened like a month or something before that. So this is the same school within a couple of months having an issue with school shooting. And now they're like, oh, now we're going to have police presence at our school and things like that. And to me, it's just not enough, man. It's not enough.
This
I,
this
absolutely, it's not. And
this all
President Biden, in a press conference said this is heartbreaking and family's worst nightmare. So what you're telling me, President, is that all these that have been going on. This ain't the
Right.
worst nightmare for parents. These are young
Right.
kids that had nothing to do with anything. And you're telling me that now all of a sudden, like,
Yeah.
no one can do anything? You guys are not doing anything about these guns? Like, no one?
Right.
Nothing.
Nobody. Nobody.
But here,
And,
let
and,
me, I
and
finally got the video. Let me play the video so
all right,
Juan, you can
perfect.
kind of be, kind of get an understanding. Here we go.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome. Here we are again. More families added to a tragic and growing list of those who have gotten that heart-crushing call, sent or
Oh my
took their
goodness,
children
everybody's
to
gonna hate
school,
me for saying
never
this,
imagining
but
they
I
would never
feel
see them again.
as a
That
man with a
searing
daughter
pain
who's
and
genetically
sadness
a daughter,
descending tonight on a
if
Nashville,
she had to
Tennessee
compete
community
against
where a
someone who
heavily armed
identified
shooter
as
walked
as
into
a
a
girl, a
private
woman,
Christian
but
elementary school this
had
morning
but
and
is
murdered
genetically a
3
man,
children, along with
On, I got two pieces of audio running at the same time. I'm
Yeah,
sorry,
yeah.
you
I was gonna
guys.
say. I was gonna
I
say.
don't know what the heck is going on here.
Yeah. But go back to what you were saying, P. It's like this has happened with multiple presidents, and it's like, what are we doing? And we look at the NRA, and obviously they got a strong hold on something because nothing ever changes, and these people they support them guns, man. I tell you.
I don't. And here's the thing, though, Z and Juan, is the fact that at the end of the day, like when you look at all of this stuff, when you look at like how this continues to happen, and this just shows you like how nothing ever gets done.
Mm.
Everybody gives you prayers and we're so sorry and this
Thoughts
is
and
that and
prayers.
the other.
Thoughts and
Yeah.
prayers.
But nothing ever happens.
Yeah, yeah. It's like we're gonna make these bills and we're gonna do all this stuff, and it's like nothing ever happens. Like, are these people disturbed? Yes, but when things like this happen, there needs to be no trial. Like, if you go into a place with the intent to shoot people at a school, you need to get life or whatever they're gonna give you, the harshest punishment. And I'm not saying it'll stop things, but I'm sure it'll change some things. But like I said, if you're that disturbed where you're doing that kind of thing, I don't think that any rules will matter anyway.
Now, we just last episode, didn't we just talk about this dude that got 400 years in jail?
Yep.
Yes, yes, yes,
Like, how
yes.
were how were those years not applied to something like this?
Right. Like I would be. We gotta. What we gonna have to do is stay on touch, staying on top of this to see what really happens. Like, what's the punishment? Like actual punishment for something like this.
So I'm assuming that this Aubrey Hale is white.
Yes.
Yes,
Okay. Okay.
yes. But
Yes.
the dude in Colorado was black.
Really?
Yeah, and it was
Yeah.
a young boy. It was a young guy.
Oh yeah. He gonna get the firing squad.
You gonna get the yeah. I laugh, but it's a sarcastic laugh for sure.
Yeah. He gonna get the firing squad. I mean,
Yeah,
yeah. In
definitely.
Colorado too. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Right, right,
Yeah.
right.
But you
Oh
really
man,
and you
yeah,
guys understand this though, right? People of color always have to get made. You got to be the one that they're going to make an example out of.
Oh, of course.
right, right.
Of course.
Definitely.
Isn't
Of
that the
course.
sad thing?
Yeah.
I mean, it goes back to what we talked about before, right? We have a line to toe, right? And we can't cross the line. We can't even kick dirt on the line,
Mm.
right? But anybody else, well, not anybody else, the white man, or the white kid is able to jump across the line anytime he want to, and it's just okay, right? We just have this.
Mhm.
Um, it's an unwritten rule. You can't do it.
Mhm.
Point blank. Period.
Yeah, I think it's like you
Because the
saying,
color
Juan.
is
It's like if it's two kids, a black and a white, the white kid is seen as a juvenile, where the black
yeah,
kid is seen as an adult. You know,
yeah.
and
And
that's
not only
sad,
that,
man. And
not only that, right? I think I said it last week. They put the pictures up side by side. Oh, he was mentally disturbed, or he had this, or was dealing
right,
with this. This
yeah,
thug,
Right,
Straight A
right,
student,
right. He was
straight A student,
right,
two parents in the home,
right. Yeah.
but he a
Find the
thug.
worst pick. I mean, they find the
Yeah,
worst pick.
yeah,
They
yeah.
find the worst pick to
So
use too. That's
it's
funny.
just
Yeah.
I don't know, man. Sad situation, very sad situation.
It very much is. Here's the video now.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome. Here we are again. More families added to a tragic and growing list of those who have gotten that heart-crushing call, who sent or took their children to school, never imagining they would never see them again. That searing pain and sadness descending tonight on a Nashville, Tennessee community where a heavily armed shooter walked into a private Christian elementary school this morning and murdered 3 children, along with 3 adults, in what police call a targeted attack. The children were just 9 years old. The shooter, identified late today by Nashville police as 28-year-old Audrey Hale. Hale was fatally shot by responding officers. The scene resembling one we are all well acquainted with by now. Children lined up and hurried away from the scene. Parents waiting to be reunited with their children as scores of first responders descended on the scene. In a moment, my interview with the police chief. Kathy Park leads us off tonight from Nashville.
So I see these kids being filed out, holding hands, So now, bro, do you know how traumatized these kids are going to be for the rest of their life?
Absolutely.
You know, they're going to have to go through and have to deal with the nightmares they're going to have to deal with. And then who's to say, right, what kind of effect it's going to have and into what they're going to do later in, down the line in life.
You're 100% right, Juan.
It's sad, bro.
I mean, this person walked in with 2 AR style weapons and a handgun, open fired inside the school. This school goes from preschool to 6th grade. Like, so I asked the question, what did these kids do to you that you had
Exactly.
to come in here and do that?
Exactly.
Right, right. Right.
Exactly.
I think
It
we
just,
spoke. Me and Juan spoke about that too when it kind of broke up. But that's what we were talking about. Like, what did these people do to you? Like, and not for nothing, or not to bring ill will on anybody, but why not go for the person that did something to you instead of putting innocent people and kids' lives in danger as well?
And I think, Juan, you asked, was there a manifesto?
yeah.
Here's, I mean, and I'm with you. I want to know because I'm like, what is going on in your head that you woke up or you've been thinking this and planning this? Like, what's been going on that you said, okay, I'm going to target and go back to the school and do this? Like, you could have picked anywhere else, but why? Why would you do this to kids?
And not only that, right? How long has this been going on in your head?
Yes.
And
Right.
you didn't think at some point that it was a problem? Like if you,
Mm.
bro, there's no way she woke up last week, or they, am I using the right pronoun? I don't know.
Yeah.
Whomever woke up
You
last
stupid.
week and was like, I'm going back to the school and
Whomever.
I'm just gonna shoot him up. No, bro, you've been thinking about this
Right.
for something, and yeah,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah. Yeah. That's why I say it's something very wrong with the people that do this. Like it's definitely something mentally wrong for them to do it for sure.
Yeah. To kids, bro. Yeah,
Right.
that's sad. That's sad.
Yeah.
I mean, it's very much
Yeah.
so, man. And I noticed, well, one of the articles that I read about this earlier said that they were transgender. This article that I'm
Mm.
reading now that I just got the video from doesn't mention the person
Mm,
being transgender.
okay.
Anything. I mean, but that doesn't
So
matter. Yeah, honestly, it don't matter about this
it
situation. Don't matter about that. Yeah.
no, absolutely it does not. You're
Right.
100%
Yeah.
correct, Z.
Yeah.
At
Yeah.
the end of the day, it is a person, that went into a school and opened fired up on some young students and teachers.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Man,
Yeah. Next topic, man. Next topic.
And big shout out to Z's mom. Uh, Patrice LaFleur is up in the building. That's your
okay.
mom's first
Hey,
name, right?
mama.
Yeah.
Hey, mama.
She
No,
said
her
it's not
first
up
name
to
is
the
Mom.
president, it's a Congress. And
Right.
she's
Right. Right.
100%
Right.
correct, you know,
Right.
but I kind of go back to the president, but the president isn't putting pressure on these congressmen and
Right.
women to make change.
But that's the part that I'm talking about, Pee Wee. It's those the NRA. Those people have some kind of stronghold on this Congress that they are not letting this stuff. They are not going to change nothing. They're not going to change nothing
Too
at
much
all.
money. It's way too much money.
Right.
They're
Right.
dishing out way too much
That
money.
support they campaigns and all that. Yeah,
You
definitely. It's gonna
know,
be thoughts and prayers, bro. Thoughts and prayers.
yeah, whew, man. All right. Um, so as we discussed earlier, talking about our topics tonight, and we're talking about Congress, right?
Hmm.
Congress
Yeah.
cannot vote on gun laws. They can't vote on gun laws, but this is something that they can vote on and change.
Let me just read from one of these books. It's called The Life of Rosa Parks by Kathleen Connors. It was pulled from second grade classrooms in the Duval County Public School District in Florida. So let's just see what is so objectionable. In 1955, Rosa boarded a bus after work in Montgomery. At the time, there was a law that said a black person had to give up their seat if a white person needed it. Rosa refused, and she was arrested. By 1956, her case had reached the U.S. Supreme Court. It declared Alabama's segregation laws illegal. And so this is a simple, non-controversial children's book about her life. Do you think that this book should be banned? Yes or no?
I love the story of Rosa Parks, always have loved the story of Rosa Parks because she was a really brave woman. But I have no idea. You're asking me to give you an answer out of context, Mr. McGovern. I have no idea why that book was taken out of the second grade. I don't know reading levels.
Well,
it sounded a little high.
I read the
reading
whole
level for second grade to me. As you read it, that was. I thought second graders might not understand every word in there, so I have no idea.
Go ahead, Juan. I see you chopping at the bit.
So, first of all, how old are second graders?
Second graders are in between 3 and 4.
No,
Is it 3 and 4? Or is
no.
it 5 and 6? I mean,
So the only words that I could see that they probably wouldn't be able to read or understand is segregation and illegal, right? But isn't that what they're in school for? Is to learn, so that you teach them and get them to understand what those words mean and what she's talking about. It's taken out of context. And lady, you just trying to cover you not wanting this to be taught to kids. Point blank. Period. Nothing he read was out of line for a second grader in that book. They just don't want to know. They just don't want us to teach these kids the real history of our people. That's what that boils down to.
I, I I'm with you 100%, Juan, on this. I just find it very interesting going back to our very first topic, right? Of a shooting in a school, and no one is doing anything about laws to stop this. Congress isn't doing anything to stop this. This is something that continues to happen over and over and over again, and Congress has not done a thing. But Congress now is in Florida is taking books off the shelves talking about people of color. They're taking these books off the shelf. So they have the time. They have the time to do this, but they don't have the time to do that.
Well, first of all, to me, right? I think it is kind of fundamental. The reason that a lot of them don't take the time or the energy to do anything about these school shootings is because it doesn't involve their kids. It doesn't reach home. It doesn't touch them. But what you are teaching them in school does affect my kid. And I don't want them to hear this, or I don't want them to know about this or that. So when I can change that, then I'll work on that. But my kids ain't got to worry about nobody coming in there shooting. So why should that? That's not a big deal for me. That's the way I look at it. That's the way I look at it. I mean, it just doesn't affect them. I'm going to go and handle the things that affects me straight to the point. And teaching my kid about Black history and what these niggers did, that's what it is, bro. That's what
Like
it is.
I come back to this.
That's what it is. And I'm so, Gerald, I'm so tired of having to deal with this from them. I'm just tired. Because it doesn't make sense. Like, and I've said even past before me, dog, what did I do to you? What did my people do to you? What did we do to you? We didn't ask to come over here.
I mean, you're talking about Africans that came over, the indigenous Black people and Indians that were already here.
Come on now.
What did anybody do to you?
Well, when you, I mean, and as you know this though, Juan, when you really look at history of it, right, is the fact that when their ancestors were over in Europe, they was treated the same, not the same, almost the same. They were peasants too. They were peasants, and so they had the opportunity to come to the United States. And I even asked this question: what was the United States called before they renamed it?
Right.
Because the Indians and indigenous Black people that were already here might have called it something else.
Right.
So you get here, and then when you get here, all you do now is conquer, steal, pillage, rape, do it all just so that you can have what you didn't have over the pond, as they say.
Right.
You didn't have that over the pond, but now that it's a to you it's a free land, and I can take over and I can do this, that, and the other. This is what they're doing. It's in their DNA.
Right.
It's in their DNA.
And I
They
think
still
that
do it to this day.
right.
Yeah.
And I think that when people try in Congress to try to change some of these things, they're seen as emotional or woke or whatever. And it's like, you're making it a big deal. And we're talking about a book about Rosa Parks, like that you're banning. Like, what are you banning?
Like, did it not happen?
Nothing in there that has anything to do other than the fact that right. But I see or to have their children or grandchildren see that this was how it was back in the day, that people were treated like less than humans. And it wasn't that long ago, if we want to be honest. It wasn't that long ago.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. It's crazy. I just it's that line. Can't cross it.
Yeah.
And like I said last week, that unwritten rule, right? We're conditioned to be afraid. We're conditioned to just accept, because I mean, what else can we do?
Right.
You know?
Right. And here's the other thing though too, right? When you guys look at um, what's going on, right? Z said, you know, people in Congress, they when they do try to make a change, they get attacked. I look at AOC, you know, and how
Mm-hmm.
hard they go after AOC. I forgot the other young ladies. What's her name? Ilha
Yeah, I know you're talking
Rashad.
about. Yeah,
Yeah, I
She's
know
out of
you.
yeah,
Minnesota. I
and the
know
brother
she's
from
a
Jersey. And, yeah,
like when they get in
right.
there, it's just it's and but it just shows you how ruthless and unapologetic politics really is. This
Yeah,
is the opportunity because you understand that these are the people that sit in these seats. They control how people move, how people live. That's a lot of power. That's why they don't want to give up those seats. That's a lot of power that you have because you're making decisions for people,
yeah,
right? You know what I'm saying? And so with that
Mm-hmm.
is
Yeah,
now when I make that's why I don't want to get out this seat. So now the fact that I'm making these decisions, I got to keep my people here. We got to keep everybody here. It don't matter,
mm-hmm.
Democrat, Republican,
Mm-hmm.
whatever. If if I see a threat to the way we live, I don't care if I'm Democrat or Republican. I'm gonna make sure that you
Yeah,
don't mess up. You can't mess this up.
right,
right.
for
So
sure. And if
I
anybody comes in after me, they need to be with the same stuff. They got to be on the
right,
same page. You know what I mean? Yeah, got to
and
be
that's
on the
what I said.
same page.
It's never changed. All it is just moving the goalposts, further and further back. Because at the end of the day, you have people, and again, you see people talk about why isn't racism dying down? It's 2023. It'll
Hmm.
never die down until you get rid of the cancer. You have people still to this day teaching their kids, excuse me, at 2 years old, three
Yeah,
years old, 4 years old, about how to treat other people.
Yeah,
right,
You know, how
right.
many stories have you guys seen
And even if
on
you aren't telling them that, yeah, I was about to say, even if you aren't telling them that, the way you're acting, they're watching.
yeah.
They're watching.
yeah,
Right.
And like, how many times have you seen on social media, right, where you see a young kid calling another kid something very vulgar and out of
Mm-hmm.
their name, and you're like,
Mm-hmm.
where'd you get that from? Only
Mm-hmm.
place you could get it
Yeah.
is either at the house or
Facts.
you watching something
Facts.
online that you ain't supposed to be watching.
right, right.
Right.
Because if you
Right.
getting it from your peers, then I'm really
Definitely.
questioning. Because and if you getting it from your peers, that means everybody that's around you has the same idea, the same thought
Yeah,
process then.
right.
Right. Right. Right. Right. Right. Yeah. Yeah. Like I said, we get like, we put those things on our kids. So like our issues and our hangups and things like that of what we think, and our kids pick up on that. So it's like very crucial that we watch what we say around our kids and how we act because, like I said, they don't have to. We don't have to tell them nothing. They're gonna
Right.
watch how we treat people. They're gonna watch
Mm-hmm.
how we talk to people, and they're gonna move accordingly. Um, and it's just that simple. Like seriously, like especially for you when you hear little kids, saying nigger or nigga and um, little kids the b words and all this stuff. Like that's learned behavior, bro. Ain't
Right.
no little kid. That's just not coming out you. That's not in you to speak like that and talk like that, man. You're definitely hearing that from something or from somebody.
Absolutely.
And I mean, you see videos, bro, where it's like, I mean, real little babies that's barely talking, they're saying these words. So it's like
Yeah.
that's
And
the language that they're
yeah,
hearing in the house. Because where else you picking it
right.
up?
And the problem with that one is, and the problem with that is, man, I'm just talking for black people. We make videos and think it's cute and talking crazy like we mean. People like it. Oh, that's so funny. No, about.
Yeah.
Not at all.
Well, I got another clip I do want to play. And this young lady speaks a lot of facts on some of the stuff that we're talking about now.
You're obviously not aware of this, but blessed is not a word that the global majority thinks of in association with Europeans. Words like plague and colonizer, maybe, but not blessed. And the cell phone in my hand came from China. So I don't know if you're referencing Steve Jobs or Martin Cooper or the Finnish inventor who created the first pocket-sized telecommunication device in 1917, and you probably don't know either because your education system has left you terribly ignorant and without the critical thinking skills necessary to effectively gather information. Because you believe that most great inventions can be attributed to one white person, as opposed to recognizing that the patent system is how white people colonize intellectual property. We would not have cell phones if it wasn't for the creation of the gamma electrical cell by black inventor Henry T. Sampson. And most of our cell phones would not have microphones in them if it wasn't for the particular microphone that was created by black inventor James Edward West. The creation of the first digital network, 1G, was launched in Japan, and then black electrical engineer Jesse Russell pioneered the creation of 2G, which launched in Finland first. 3G launched in Japan, 4G launched in Norway, 5G launched in South Korea, and 30% of the world's cell phones are manufactured in China. Because we, of the global majority, recognize that collective humanity has the ingenuity and creativity of one another to thank, whereas a lot of European Americans are laboring under the delusion that the rest of us have white people to thank. And it's this narcissistic ignorance that causes people like you to do embarrassing things, like leaving comments about Europeans and cell phones on a video about systemic anti-black racism in the United States. And while that could be written off as a comedic and senile non sequitur, we recognize it as a desperate attempt to center yourself in a conversation that has nothing to do with you. The irony being that white people like to say not all white people and they shouldn't be held accountable for the misdeeds of their ancestors, yet they want to be associated with the greatness of the things that they think they invented.
So yeah, man. I learned something from that lady when I first saw it. Yeah, she taught me a couple of things.
But here's the get down though, Lon, right? We have this in school.
You what?
I said, why aren't we teaching these things to our kids in school?
Well, first of all, how you gonna teach them that? And you can't even teach them about the stuff that we know happened. They already, I mean, so you don't want them, you can't teach them about the Black history, which in essence, that's what this is as well, is Black history. And inventors. People they don't want their kids to know that we have intellect. They don't want their kids to know that we don't just walk around with our pants hanging down, or walk in the street, like a hooker or whatever. We have some intelligence, we have some wherewithal, we have some get up and go about ourselves. But that's not something that they want their kids to know. They want to portray and have them still think and feel like we're less than. So no, we're not going to give them this platform. No, we're not going to tell the truth about where these inventions are. He may have been smart enough to come up with the idea and put it together and make it work, but he wasn't smart enough to patent it. So I'm gonna go ahead and take that patent and make it look like I did it, right? Because we a lot of those people just didn't really probably know the process. Here's what you really need to do. Here's how you need to cover yourself. Just didn't know, right? We wasn't privy to that kind of information. Yeah,
But even if we was privy to the information, they wouldn't give it to us anyway.
Yeah, no, you're right. You're right. 100%. You're right.
Yeah.
Um, it takes me back to the same thing, man. We just being held behind the line, man. That I don't know. I don't know. I don't even know what to say, bro.
No, I mean, I hear you on, and I'm with you 100%. And I just I feel very sad at the end of the day that this is the type of stuff that I just go back to, this is 2023,
Right.
and we're still dealing with things that we shouldn't have to be dealing with. You know, again, you are so focused up on the education and what kids should be learning in school, right? But
Mm-hmm.
you can't keep them safe in school.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Like, you're concerned about, and a lot of this is in Florida. Florida's the first one that
Yeah.
started this,
Yeah.
and so you have every other ethnicity that has um, a college course to it. The only
Mhm.
one that you are taking out is the African American studies.
Yeah.
All the other ones you're taking out. But here's the get down. Here's another thing that I just want to say, and then we can move on unless you want to keep it moving. But um, the fact that um, I just had a conversation with my daughter
Okay.
today, and she was telling me she was learning about the Boston Tea Party and the
Hmm.
Boston Massacre. And I'm
Hmm.
like, that's very interesting. So it's okay to learn that history.
Right.
That's the history that we want to teach. But we can't teach our kids American history, because when you talk about American history, that is Black history also in its same.
Right. Right. No, they don't. They just don't want you to know that it's like they don't want us to exist, bro. They don't want us to have any kind of any place in life, in part of this life. No place whatsoever.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm with you.
I it's just it's disheartening, man. It's
Oh,
so disheartening.
absolutely. Very much so. Very much so.
It's and all you can say every time is, "What can I do?" Or and not only what can I do, but what else do you want me to do? Like, what can I do, man? What can I do?
One, I wish I knew. I honestly, I wish I knew. Um, but I have no idea. I
Yeah,
mean, we at every turn we fight. You
yeah.
know, we, I mean, at every turn, and at some point, um, I just feel like other people, other ethnicities,
Hmm.
get other people's ear and get things done, and we're on the back burner.
Yeah,
you know and like, you look at the, and I apologize if I get this wrong, the LBGTQ community, they getting a lot of rights, they getting a lot of stuff done,
yeah.
right? Canceling people, getting their voice heard, you know um and I know we had this conversation last week about transgender, so I do want to play this clip of
Trans women are women. What are your thoughts?
Trans women are trans women. That's not said disrespectfully, because my era, we were transvestites, drag queens, you're a man in a dress. We fought to have the title of trans women. Respectfully, trans men are trans men. That is not even a disrespect. It's this younger, new generation Z crazy that it's not enough for. But let me just break something down to y'all real simple. If a woman is a social construct and we're emulating women, what would that make us? Social construction workers? To be truthful. And if biological women stop having sex, if biological women stop having babies, it won't be no more black, white, LGBT, fat, funny looking, and nothing else. I know y'all ain't gonna like the way I put it to you in the box, but when you find the lie, stop me. Because I have relationships with trans men that they identify as men, but they're biologically women. They think that, oh, Flame, you just pandering for the women. No, I know what a woman is. Woman is Mother Earth. We all came through the birth canal of a woman. All female impersonators, transgender, sex change, whatever. You did not learn how to be a female or act like a female watching somebody like you in a suit and tie.
That's a fact.
You learn from the woman that raised you, whether it be your mother, your auntie, your stepmother, whomever. But then when I get so comfortable in my gay or my transgender or whatever I decide to become, whatever's instilled in me, I'm better than you? No, I'm not better than you. You're still my sister.
Wow.
But I'm better than you now? That is the problem. We keep trying to dismiss women. You cannot dismiss a woman.
Right.
Life
Or
would
compete.
stop.
Or compete.
Right. I like how you put that in there at the end.
Or compete. I mean, I know when we get on this topic, it is it's a very it's a very fine line with it, right? Is because, you know, as you said earlier, I'm not for sure if I'm saying the right pronouns,
Right.
right? So now I have to make sure that I address you properly, and so that you don't get offended or you're not upset of how I approach you or um, address you.
But let me ask a question before you go on. If you're speaking to a transgender woman and you use the wrong pronoun, is it you're offended because that's how you feel that you are? The transgender woman, right? Because they feel like they're a woman, but you're a man.
I
You're a
mean,
man.
is it you're a man because you didn't have the surgery?
Well, to me, you born a man, you a man, bro. I mean, I don't see no other way around it. And so maybe you can school me on this, right? And I think I believe that I know the answer. Somebody decides to become to transgender themselves to a woman from a man. They have the surgery, right? They still can't produce.
Facts.
So does that make you a man? I mean, make you a woman just because you got woman parts?
I
Still
mean,
not a woman, right?
no. I mean, no, no. I'm with you. I mean, I
Well,
don't, I
I
don't
get,
understand it either.
yeah.
And just on the end of like, and I'm looking inside the chat right now. Um, Kim Fagan said, what do you have to acknowledge is that all other minority groups, including LGBTQ, stick together. We as a people don't." Patrice LaFleur in the chat said, "How can I address you properly when you change all the time?"
Yeah,
And I think that's what the person in the clip said. Like, there's everybody wants to have their own lane. And but in having your own lane, you got to make sure that the whole world understands your lane that you're going in. Because I mean, it's just like a job, right? You go into a job. I don't know what everybody does at the job until you
right,
tell me what you do at the job. Then I know.
right. Yeah, I mean, if I came across that situation and I used the wrong pronoun, if a person said to me like, I would prefer that you address me as such and such, that's what I can see that, right? That's a respectful. I'm not trying to disrespect nobody. I'm not trying to hurt nobody's feelings or anything like that. But don't come off like trying to snap at me about it. Like,
Right.
I called you dude because you look like a dude.
Right.
That's how I mean, I it's just crazy, man. It's crazy. I don't understand it. I don't get it. I don't understand it. There's a lot of things being said and going around and saying like uh you're born this way. I don't believe that. Um
Well, to a certain degree, I kind of do though, Juan. I do, because I've seen kids grow up. And I know for myself, I've seen it firsthand.
mhm,
Um, where this young man, young, couldn't have been no more than 5, 6, maybe 7 years old or whatever, right?
mhm.
Had very women tendencies. Had very woman tendencies, right? There wasn't taught, no one taught. That was just the demeanor of the kid. The kid ended up actually growing up to be gay. So I don't think that it's all, but I do think that there are some that do grow up, come out, and maybe the chromosomes got mixed up. I mean, I don't know.
I,
I
I mean, anything's possible, right? I mean, anything's possible. I'm not saying that it's impossible. Um, yeah, I don't know. So there's another question in the chat saying, so would you call a masculine woman that looks like a man a dude? Um, a masculine woman.
I mean, you
You
just
mean
saw
like
one in the clip.
you mean like a no. I think they're referring to
Oh,
like,
like more like a butch.
yeah. Probably.
Be like, "What's up, homie?"
Yeah. What up, dude? Yeah, probably. But let me kind of clarify what I was saying when I was saying calling them a woman. Not that they, a lot of transgender people sometimes don't look like, you can get a transgender woman that actually looks like a woman, right? They
Oh,
can,
absolutely.
you know what I mean? What I'm saying is, if you're blatantly looking like you're a dude and you're trying to dress like a woman and it's just not working. But if I can't tell
Well,
if
to them
you're,
it's working, no one. To
huh?
them, they got it going on. This is it.
Well, I have a saying, right? If you don't believe it, who else will?
Right. They believe
So
it.
I mean,
They
yeah, I
all
mean,
in.
and that's not to take nothing away from them, right? I'm not taking anything away from them or anything like that. It's just how I see it in my perception, and I can only live in my truth, right? I can't, but I'm not trying to force my beliefs or whatever on anybody either,
Right.
right? And I wouldn't never want to intentionally try to be disrespectful to anybody or try to hurt anybody's feelings or anything like that. That's not what I'm saying or trying to do, or insinuate or anything like that, right? I'm not just like targeting somebody and know that they are in their transgender phase and maybe not there yet or whatever, and I'm trying to be harmful in calling them whatever. You know what I mean? That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is I really see you as whatever and dressed like such and such, but you're not. So that's the context that I was talking about. Make sense? Are you frozen, Pee Wee? So it looks like Pee Wee got frozen up as well. So we're about at the 1 hour mark here. We want to thank you all for joining and into our podcast. Please subscribe on Twitch, YouTube, and join in with us. Give us your comments. Give us your ideas, some of the things that you maybe want to hear us talk about or things like that. But first and foremost, and above all, thank you for joining. I hope it was pleasurable for you. See you next week. Take care.